The ingenious traits of the INTP personality type allow them to perceive the world in a way that other types can't quite relate to. Living in a world of inner thoughts and ideas, they can sometimes come off as being disconnected and reserved, but in reality this perceiving type just chooses not to share their deep thoughts to the world. So we're here to share a few of them instead. Welcome back, Psychos. Before we get into it, have you liked and subscribed to our channel? Go ahead, we'll wait for you. Be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. They want to seem smart. INTPs don't necessarily care about what other people think of them in the grand scheme of things, but if they're caught seeming less educated than they are, they may take measures to prove their level of intellect. Known to be a walking encyclopedia, the INTP pride themselves on their intellectual abilities, and rightfully so. They work hard to keep their endless accumulation of inner information up to date and accurate. And so, naturally, they want to be recognized for their efforts. Call the INTP any name in the book and they won't get offended, but comment on their intellect in a negative light and you can be sure they'll try to change your mind. Number 2. Nothing is ever black and white. Speaking of their intellectual abilities, there's never a moment when the INTP isn't sorting data into the most precise categories within their inner filing system. This curious type analyzes every piece of information thrown at them, first deciphering if the information is true or not according to their existing knowledge. Accuracy and truth are the most crucial components to a piece of information in the eyes of an INTP, with the simplest detail making all the difference. To this type, to say you drive a sports car doesn't cut it. They want to know the make, the model, and the colour in order to really grasp it in their minds. Even if they're the least bit interested in cars themselves. Context is also important, as INTPs need to see things from all angles to fill in as much information as possible before coming to a conclusion. Number 3. They can't stop connecting ideas. So what does the INTP do with all this information? Well, that might be the biggest INTP mystery of them all. To truly understand the inner workings of this complex type's inner mind takes some serious research. But to put it simply, for the sake of this third INTP secret, they are constantly connecting the data they're sorting. In fact, if you ever witness an INTP drifting off into thought with their heads in the cloud, they're probably in the process of connecting ideas or analysing new information to connect. They may even disconnect mid-conversation due to witnessing a piece of information that solves one of their many inner puzzles. Neuroscientist expert Dario Nardi explains that this INTP process is actually referred to as trans-contextual thinking. This is the ability that all extroverted intuitives share that allows them to create connections in the mind between things or ideas that aren't typically associated with each other in a particular context. Number 4. They know more than they tell. There's no arguing the fact that INTPs are often underestimated for their intellectual abilities, as we discussed briefly in the first shared secret, but why is it that INTP is rarely given credit their due? Well, due to their extroverted thinking function, most of their analysis is done privately. While they may come off as spacey or even detached at times, inside the INTP mind is filled with ingenious solutions and ideas that would baffle others. In fact, even when this analytical type decides to share their inner thoughts, they are usually too complex for others to follow. Even though they want to seem as intelligent as they are, they also understand that their thoughts are unique and not always interesting to the average person, which ultimately encourages them to keep most of their discoveries to themselves. Little does everyone know that the INTP actually holds the second highest IQ score of all types on average. Number 5. They feel pulled to investigate the mysteries of life. Any conclusion based on the idea of things just being the way they are because that's the way they are is never good enough for the INTP personality type. They don't settle for mediocre explanations to even the simplest of concepts. But that's not exactly a secret about this information-hungry type. What does come as a surprise to most people, however, is that INFPs are naturally adventurous types, just not necessarily in the traditional sense. Instead of feeling compelled to explore the world around them, they use their stubborn curiosity to investigate theories and ideas on a deeper level. They use their vast imaginations to influence the direction of their observations in order to absorb the necessary details around them to solve their curiosities. Sounds complex, but to the INTP, it's second nature. Number 6. They give some of the best advice. While INTPs aren't exactly the overly empathetic type you'd want to run to when times get tough, they're actually the ones you should go to. This is because, while care and nurturing care can go a long way, the INTP is the friend that will tell you how it is. They can easily point out logical errors and discrepancies with an issue, broadening other people's views of a situation in order to find a reasonable solution. In fact, it's not always for the benefit of the other person, as it is for their sheer drive to get to the bottom of something. This is why, when it comes to problem solving in particular, INTPs will put all their current affairs on hold to give you their undivided attention and analysis. Over time, an INTP will eventually come to a deeper understanding of people's personalities, allowing them to provide deeper insights and solutions. Number 7. They're almost never satisfied in life. Considered the idealistic logician, people with the INTP personality type are rarely satisfied with where they are in life. With such a deep understanding of the world and a drive to use their knowledge to their advantage, the INTPs can't help but to imagine how things could be better than they are. They feel a need to constantly try to improve things, solve problems, and find new topics to learn about rather than addressing the needs and responsibilities they already have in life. They think that attempting to reinvent the wheel in life will at some point get them to where they need to be, and they may be right, but their need for perfectionism sometimes stands in the way of actually accomplishing their forever recycled interests. Number 8. Their main drive is their own standards. INTPs aren't interested in competing for the same reasons other people may be. Unlike many other personality types, logicians aren't driven by things like the need to impress their boss, be accepted by others, or get a well-respected job title. As a matter of fact, the INTP is usually a little turned off by the entire concept of motivational measures such as check-in meetings, team-building exercises, and water-cooler chitter-chatter. And there's more to it than just being an introverted type. INTPs are only motivated by their own curiosities and the high standards they set for themselves. This doesn't mean that they're hardworking just for the sake of it, but they do take their standards very seriously. Number 8. They crave companions more than they'd like to admit. The unique trait that makes up the INTP personality type usually comes as a pleasant surprise to their romantic partners. But that doesn't mean it's easy for this introverted type to find someone. Due to their need for significant alone time and shared intelligence, the INTP not only has high standards for themselves, but also for the people they let in their lives. This alone makes it significantly more difficult for INTPs to date, which is why they're not exactly keen on the whole idea of having to go out and meet someone. Sure, they've analysed relationships and the concept of romantic connection, but logicians may drag their feet when it comes to actually putting their knowledge into action. And so, although they may act as if they're not interested in a partner, they're only human, and humans need connection. And number 10, they despise being rushed. Being a personality type known for their incredible thinking process doesn't come easy. In fact, INTPs normally require a little more time weighing out the pros and cons of a situation before offering advice or making a decision. And so, when they feel rushed in any sense, it can cause them a great deal of stress, especially in terms of long-term decisions or impactful life choices. The INTP requires hours, sometimes even days or weeks to properly conclude. It may seem like a form of procrastination or avoidance at times, but the wait is almost always worth the outcome. Well, that's it for today's video, Psychos. So, are you an INTP? And if so, do you agree with these 10 secrets? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos.